On the third day of Christmas, my naturopathic physician gave to me 3 hot cold foot baths, 2 listening ears, and 1 happy, healthy, thriving family. Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Smith, a naturopathic physician, and thank you for joining me on this, the third day of Christmas. Technically, the third day leading up to Christmas, but nevertheless, the third day of Christmas brought to you by a naturopathic physician. Today, we are talking about hydrotherapy. Now, you've heard about cold plunges, you've heard about saunas, you've heard about hot tubs. That's all hydrotherapy is. It's the use of water to treat our bodies and apply it in certain ways to stimulate our body's natural healing ability and processes. I think it's amazing. I love using hydrotherapy, and there's a lot that you can do at home. I'm going to share with you one of my favorites that's really great, especially for cold winter days. Now, I don't know about you, but my feet don't have the best circulation. So I have to wear socks all the time during winter. And if I don't, then my feet just freeze and they might turn blue and, whatever. They don't fall off. So it's all good. But when my feet get cold, I like to warm them up. And foot baths are really easy ways of doing that in a very affordable, cheap way. And you don't need any fancy devices, although you can get like specially made foot bath devices from the store. I'll show you some simple things that I use, and you can use your bathtub. Mine's right here, and do it in the comfort of your own home. It's really easy. Let me show you how I like to do it. Okay, so here in my bathtub, I have 2 of these bucket things. I got them at the dollar store. They work really well. They're about 4 inches or 5 or so inches deep and big enough that I can fit my feet, which is all that I need. So one I have already filled up with cold water, and I leave that usually off to the side away from the sink. That one is cold water. We'll get there in a minute. This one is full of hot water, and I've already started filling it up. When you start out, you may not want to go all the way hot, but almost there. So what you do is very simply, ouchie, that's a little warm. Whoo! It's gonna maybe burn for a minute, but you'll be fine. Your feet will get used to it. And the nice thing about what's happening here is that you notice that when you go into a hot tub or something, your feet or your body turns red. The reason it turns red is that the blood vessels in the top of layers of your skin, they actually expand. The heat causes the expansion of blood vessels so that the blood vessels on the surface of your skin are bigger and therefore they look darker or more red. Now, this process of going back and forth from hot to cold is really good for circulation for feet. When during wintertime, things like that can also be really good for things like sprained ankles or issues where you have joints or things like that that need extra blood flow. By moving your feet from hot to cold and back again, you're kind of creating a pump, because the hot opens up the blood vessels and the cold water shrinks the blood vessels, opens and closes. Is going back and forth, it works as a pump, and it also helps with the overall circulation in the body as well. I really like it for that reason. Now, this isn't necessarily for everybody. I think there are some conditions when I would want to be careful with hot and cold foot baths. Things like diabetes, or other times when circulation is a concern. I would recommend speaking with your doctor, of course, to get your personal insight on what is best for you, and whether this kind of treatment is good for you and your body. So this is the third day of Christmas, and I put it on the third day because of the rule of 3. It's really nice to keep your feet in the hot water for about 3 minutes. That's kind of a rule of thumb. It's not a hard, fast rule by any stretch, but rule of thumb, 3 minutes hot, 30 seconds, 30 seconds cold. Then you go back to the hot, and then go back to the cold. 3 minutes, 30 seconds. So I'm just going to pretend that I've been in here for 3 minutes already. So what I'm going to do is we move over here to the cold. And while I'm doing that, this water that I previously heated up is cooled down a little bit. So what I like to do is then turn it on again, and we're going to refill it with some fresh hot water. And it's a little more full now, and it's been, maybe closer to 30 seconds. I'm ready to get out now, and I want to go back to the hot bath. Now, you can do this as many times as you want. Or if your feet are just really cold, you want to just do hot, that's fine. Except for what I think is the golden rule of hydrotherapy is you always want to end on cold. Now, why would you always want to end on cold? That's a really good question. So our body, our blood vessels in the hot, as we talked about, are opening up. They're getting bigger. And our feet, where the water is warming up our entire feet. The muscles, the joints, everything, the blood vessels, all of the fluid inside of our feet. Because there's a lot of things in there. Now, what we do is by ending on cold, we allow for all of that heat to kind of be trapped in a way. So I'm going to pretend that this has, again, been 3 minutes. I usually like to do it longer. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to go back to cold, and I'm going to end here. Now, I'm going to end on cold, and what that does is that kind of traps that heat inside the body. If you're familiar with the Chinese medicine kind of perspectives, the yang, or the hot water, is kind of representative of yang, and the cold water is representative of the yin. And so what we're doing is we're taking this yang and we're putting it inside of our body, this warmth, and then the yin is kind of sealing it in and keeping it there. And now that it's been about 30 seconds or so, I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to call that good for now. And then, after that, going to dry off, and then be sure to put nice, clean, warm socks on with my slippers. You'll notice that as you end on cold, your body actually, once you take your feet out of the cold water, your feet will actually start to feel warmer. And it's because the warmth in your blood vessels, they're big, they shrunk because the last thing they saw was cold water. And then when you take them out, they begin to warm up again because of the warmth that's already inside your feet. So your feet feel warmer and longer. This principle works in all forms of hydrotherapy, including showers. If you can end your shower with a little bit of cold or cool even, it helps, does the same effect. And I really like it, and I honestly can't not do it. I love hydrotherapy. It works amazingly, and it's great for lots of things. And if you're interested in learning more about hydrotherapy, let me know in the comments, and I will post more videos about that. But thank you for joining me on the third day of Christmas, brought to you by a naturopathic physician, and I will see you tomorrow for day 4. Have a great day.